Hello everyone, welcome to the Red Men TV for your dose of daily news. I am here later on this afternoon than we would normally be because we can. Anyway, before we get stuck into it, of course, I mentioned this on yesterday's show, I've mentioned it on my own channel, what have you. Today is the day of the general election, and if you are registered to vote and you haven't voted yet, please, please, please do go out and do that now. You know, get mobile, watch this video on your phone, have a little walk, use me as an accompaniment all the way to the polling station and cast your vote. I won't tell you who to vote, but please do go and exercise your right to vote because, you know, it's going to be people, and the vast majority of people who watch these videos, there's a particular party who don't expect you to get off your arse and do it. So I'm a big fan of when people expect me to do something, I'm a big fan of turning around and basically slinging some V's at them and doing it to prove them wrong. But anyway, get on to some Liverpool transfer news. Yeah, I want to talk about the Virgil van Dijk stuff again. Obviously, I did a little video on it yesterday. I did a periscope on it with Steele as well from the office as it broke last night. So we'll start with that, I guess. It hasn't particularly moved on since yesterday, but if you're new to the story, Liverpool have released a statement apologising to Southampton, their chairman, owners, fans, and decided they're basically not going to be moving any further forward in trying to sign Virgil van Dijk. Shocking, like flabbergasted completely by the statement. I've never seen anything quite like it. Now, one thing that people have highlighted since then is that Paris Saint-Germain had a very similar situation with Thiago Silva when he was at AC Milan. And having said they were interested in him, AC kicked off, and PSG put a tweet out or whatever saying that, yeah, we won't be following up on our interest. But it's worded very differently, and the Liverpool one is very, very strong and very, defined. It seems very much like that's it. You know, like Liverpool will no longer be looking to sign Van Dijk, which is just mad, just genuinely mad. I don't know where to apportion blame, if I'm perfectly honest. What I do know is that apparently this statement that has come out has come from the top. Apparently, John Henry and Tom Werner have decided that they needed to step in to intervene on this matter, which doesn't look great for the guys involved in Liverpool's transfer committee, if I'm perfectly honest, and that potentially includes Jurgen Klopp as well. If Liverpool have done as suggested, the simple fact of the matter is it's just against the rules, and you can say all day long, and I have said, I believe this kind of thing happens all the time. I don't know, I'm not in the transfer business, I couldn't tell you, with absolute certainty, but Steve's mentioned it. Look at Romelu Lukaku coming out and talking about how he's agreed with another club, and yet it doesn't look like there's been a bid accepted by Everton. No one's talked about it, such as bidding for Lukaku. Well, who's Lukaku been talking to in order to arrange this thing, or who's his agent been talking to? This kind of stuff clearly happens all the time, but you do have to wonder, given that Liverpool already have a ban on registering academy players who've been trained within this country, whether they've kind of the owners have gone, we need to intervene here and just make it, because the statement, what I read on it was that they were stepping in to protect the brand, the brand more the morals and the ethos of Liverpool. And say what you will about the owners, but if Liverpool are being caught with their hands in the cookie jar, so to speak, for a start, I don't think they should be there in the first place, whether that's what happens or not. But Liverpool promotes itself as even though a Liverpool fan, you probably don't get it, but if you are a Liverpool fan, I always felt Liverpool promoted itself very much as a really strong, positive, upbeat ethos, and even in a business-driven world. And if that's what the core is, the core of your club, then I can understand the need to protect that, because Liverpool have made some hideous PR mistakes, in the last 5 or 6 years, and so sometimes action needs to be taken. Now, apparently there's an AGM of all the Premier League clubs today, and reportedly the Premier League will seek to have a chat with Southampton and Peter Moore, Liverpool CEO, to see what's going on with the situation, and we'll know a little bit more, I guess, in the coming days, whether Southampton are happy with the apology, whether the Premier League are looking to take this any further forward as an investigation, or whether ultimately a deal is struck between the clubs and Liverpool are capable of reigniting their interest in Virgil van Dijk. Until that, it makes no sense to comment on it further. I see a lot of people getting really angry about it, and I think people, to be honest, I've sensed this brewing regardless of the Van Dijk. So I think people are desperate to fume and people are getting bent out of shape. And as I've said for a couple of days running on this, it's still very, very early doors. This is, make no mistake, this is horrendously embarrassing. It's like, I can say, it's basically unprecedented. And if you're looking for ammunition with which to be wound up by Liverpool Football Club, listen, I fully understand why you would be by this, because it is. I was just fuming last night, absolutely fuming about it. To be fair, at the minute there's bigger things going on in the world, you know. And again, to come back to politics, the general election takes place in my thoughts more highly at the moment, but you know, we need to see resolution in this, and if not, Liverpool absolutely need to go out and identify who the hell else they're getting, because we've talked lots and lots in the last week or so that Van Dijk clearly, without a shadow of a doubt, Liverpool's absolute top target this summer. And we were going out of our way to make that happen, literally. So we're next. You know, who is the second target? Where do we move forward? Do we quickly move on and get something else sorted, or do we hang on? You know, going back to the Thiago Silva from AC Milan to PSG stuff, he went and signed a new contract with Milan, and it was 12 days later from the statement. He signed for PSG. So, you know, I'm not saying, I wouldn't suggest that it was dead and buried, but reading the language of the statement that Liverpool put out, I would suggest that Liverpool need to move on from Virgil van Dijk and probably move on quickly, just in case the worst happens. But as I say, no sense in speculating further than that. I'll discuss this more when I know a little bit more information. And we are in on Fridays for a few weeks, so there will be a daily news show tomorrow. If you want to tune in, there might be more on that. I will come to some of your comments in a moment, but just want to talk about a piece of transfer news off the back of this. There could be a link to what I've just said there, that apparently Liverpool have had a bid rejected for Stefan De Vrij from Lazio. 20 million. Apparently he'd be worth more like 30. Now I've seen a lot of people saying that his injury record's not great. Now just quickly looking at him, obviously he's another Dutchman. He's 25 years old, so right in the prime of his career, and one of he's a little bit shorter than Van Dijk, and he can play both sides of the centre back positions, which is great. People saying his injury record's not great. I had a quick look into it and Transfermarkt highlights his injuries going back to 11-12. People saying he's missed a lot of football. Sion, the officer, saying he's almost as bad as Sturridge's injury record. From what I can gather, maybe other sources will be better and more clear on this. Maybe like Physio Room will have a better indication. From what I've seen, he had a severe knee injury. He basically missed a year after the operation of that. He missed 48 games as a result of that. And then he had a metatarsal fracture at the start of this season, which caused him to miss a few. And then he's missed a couple here and there. It doesn't scream out to be like, look, it's not like he's missing 5, 6, 7, 8 games at a time with a variety of injuries. He's missed a handful here and there, apart from 2 pretty serious injuries, of course. That would be enough to make me think, having a severe knee injury would always make me think twice about buying someone, unless they were like in their early 20s and what have you. So I don't know. Thoughts on that? I haven't seen him play. If you've watched much of Lazio, is he the kind of player you think we should be targeting? If he could be as good as like Jan Vertonghen, I'd be well up for that. I don't know why. I think it feels like that to me. Whether he is that kind of defender, I don't know. Let me know in the let me know in the comments, which I will come to right now. In fact, Callum Rafa Redman, I think we will find out what's actually happened. It's just one of those. Siraj Roumani pulled off Firmino transfer under the radar. Why couldn't we do it with Van Dijk? I think the thing is, it's too big. I think you can pull off transfers like that when there's not people. But City, Chelsea, Liverpool being linked with a player, like the papers, every newspaper from all around the country has a different angle on that. The press leading towards City had City in the lead for it. The ones leading towards Chelsea had Chelsea in the lead for it. So it's just such big news that I think it was dangerous ground. I don't think Liverpool have been in this situation for a while. There's every chance that Liverpool might well have followed a similar path to do these things. But if you can just go meet, agree, and then sign, there's probably far less of an issue. But because it's been drawn out, and Liverpool just clearly haven't got the time frame right and the order of things right at all with this, by the looks of it. I think it's easier when there's just a guy and you can just go and get it sorted. And I think Firmino's one of them. I don't think there was a ton of people interested in him at the time. And similar, like I said yesterday, with the Salah stuff, there's not two, three, four, five clubs queuing up for Mo Salah, which is why I don't think there's any real pressure on it. There's no pressing need to get it done immediately, if that makes sense. Jason Vigilant says, I see Gomez our next top end defender. It's sick to want to throw away money and club face for Virgil van Dijk. Yeah, there's a lot. It's a lot of money, isn't it? But like I say, I want Liverpool to get into the world where if they really want someone, and particularly if it's players that, I think it's different when, again, you're not in a bidding war for a player, and you go in and that club goes 50 million. They're the clubs you turn around and tell to fuck off. But what I want to see from Liverpool is, if we've established players as top targets and other top clubs want them, we need to beat those clubs to those players' signatures, because it takes a boss player out of their team, it sends a message to the Premier League to what we're doing, and most importantly, it gives us the best possible players for our team. So again, I'm not that arsed that Liverpool will be looking to pay the kind of money. I'm just disappointed ultimately, and a bit annoyed that we've not done it. We've not got it over the line. Jamie Morey says, would you take Costa Port all day, mate? All day. Martin de Brig, I'm not embarrassed about Liverpool trying to sign the best players within the legal rules. It goes on every day at all clubs. Yeah, I think what you're saying is, yeah, if this is the way it's done, it's just annoying that Liverpool get caught. Is what the problem is. I'm kind of not bothered how Liverpool go about things, provided it works and you don't get caught. It's not a crime if you don't get, not condoning crime. Okay, so again, another one from Murmur. Spending that much money on an unproved centre-back is stupid anyway. Jason Vision again, let's calm down and only talk when we sign one of these top players. This is the thing, and Steve made a great point on this. A lot of this has come about through leaks, and in some respects we're all kind of culpable in this regard, because we're all so desperate for information, and there's so many people who, and the way the industry's gone now, it's all about clicks, and this isn't just like fan sites and vloggers. This is, mainstream media. They're desperate for stuff, and this is, mainstream media have found this out, and they've made it public knowledge, and it's incensed Southampton, and this is where it's gone, because we're all living in a world where the quest for people's eyeballs are basically is basically paramount in this world. So we've all got that desire to know what's going to happen before it happens. In a regard, we are all to blame for this type of thing. Milesy 20, who out of Tom, Chris, Steve and Paul would make the best politician? I think Chris would make a phenomenal politician, because there's nothing like him. You know how like you had Nick Clegg years ago saying, like, oh, I'm different to these guys, I'm not like these guys, and that kind of thing worked. And then Farage kind of said, oh, look, I'm not like these, I'm different. It's a bit of an act. Chris genuinely isn't like any like those people. I would love to see Chris having to stand up and give his opinions on things. I'm not saying he'd get elected. He might end up in some sort of political scandal, because you can always tell what Chris is thinking by looking at his face. His face gives him away. I think would be absolutely priceless. I think if he could have his hair out as well, he could adopt the lovable buffoon thing that Boris Johnson's got for him, but not be an absolute cunt as well. So he might be able to make a real success of that, because that's worked for him, hasn't it? Liam Tetley, it's an embarrassing situation, no doubt, not the Kiss politician thing. Back to Van Dijk, I guess. Seems like FSG are not happy about this, and hopefully heads will roll. Transfer window isn't even open yet, so no need to panic. Needing left-back striker and centre defensive midfielder always. Yeah, completely agree with that. Let's see if we can get a couple more comments in. David T, why do Liverpool fans have such unrealistic expectations when it comes to signing players? I don't know what that means. Can you let me know what that means if you want to comment back in, please? The battery apple trees. Why does this transfer window so far feel like the last round of supermarket sweep? Grab anything, everything. No, if you think that's the case, wait. I think this deadline day coming is going to be the maddest deadline day in the history of deadline days by an absolute mile, because there's so much money floating around the league, and I just think there's going to be a couple of chances. I think we'll end up seeing a couple of like massive transfers from clubs you wouldn't expect to spend massive fees right at the end of this window. So you think it's bad now? Yeah. By Pele, says Ziggy Trick. Now he's a bit old now, mate, and has issues. Just saying, there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, well, unless you've got things you need to cut, it's fine. Okay. No one seems to be telling me about the freeze. Let me know if you can in the comments. I'm looking at comments from yonks ago now, so let me skip right down to the bottom and see if I can find some. Some brilliant. Oh shit, Solanke. Yes, thank you. Why haven't you reminded me so about Solanke?
You're in the zone.
I was in the zone. Yes, Dom Solanke. I promised I would talk about him. He scored 2 for the under-20s in the under-20s World Cup, and therefore took England to a World Cup final, albeit on 20 level, for the first time since like 1966, and that's of like at all levels. England haven't been to a World Cup final at any levels, going all the way back to actually getting to the World Cup final. From watching some of the highlights, Lookman, who plays for Everton, had a very good game as well. Solanke was really good. Shea Ojo came off the bench and changed the game by all accounts. I saw him put one wicked ball in from the right hand side with his right foot as well for a left footed player. Very, very exciting. And Solanke again, not like amazing finishes. The Echo tried to describe what his second goal is like smashed it, an unstoppable drive into the bottom corner. It was very stoppable. He hit it from like 25 yards and the keeper should defo save it, but he scored a goal. That's good enough for me. That's 3 in his last 2 of what I've seen as well. So, you know, we talked about Solanke a lot on the Reds Transfer Roundup show. It's on the website now, Tom, or today.
What?
Not listening. Reds Transfer Roundup. Yeah. Today. This afternoon, early evening, Steve hosted. We obviously had to chop out a massive bit of Van Dijk stuff about how Southampton are just grasses and it's not going to work out what they're saying. And then we read the statement. But yeah, loads on optimism on Solanke, and we talked all about Liverpool's big. We did a bit on Lacazette as well, who everyone wants to talk about. Really, really, really good show. Best part of an hour long as well. There's a 3-part special going up. There are Virgil van Dijk references in there. There have to be, because we thought he was signing up until 24 hours ago. But those shows, there's going to be 4 exclusive proper length shows on the website. Plus there's an interview with Robbie Fowler. Plus there's an interview with Gary McAllister as well about transfers and about optimism for the future for Liverpool Football Club, etc., etc. Plus all the amazing stuff we've done for the last couple of weeks as well, reviewing the season, reviewing the squad, looking at transfers. If you want to, as I've said before, it is a massive help to us. It does support everything we do. If you enjoy the free stuff, you enjoy these live streams, again, they happen because the people who support the channel by going to the redmentv.com and subscribing. Have it for a month for nothing, see if you like it, and then it's £2 a month. If you think about it, it's £2 a month to help make this a thing. If it's something that you like, then please do consider it. But yeah, you can watch and subscribe by clicking buttons at the end of the video, of course you can. But one last mention, please, if you are sitting there, you're registered to vote and you're watching this video and you're just thinking, oh, I can't be arsed, or oh, it's raining or whatever, honestly, I'm telling you this, and I'm not, look, I don't get paid to do this. This is just me talking to you as another human being. It's so easy to do. The hardest part is literally getting yourself in the polling station. No one cares what you wear and what you dress like. Everyone's just pleased to see people turn out and vote. You get your card, you put your little cross in the box you want to do it, and you drop it in the slot. It is so easy. I do it and go, is there more to this? There's not. There's no more to it. You go and you give your name and your address, you get your card, you cross it, you put it in the box, and you voted, and you get to say you're a proper member of society. But yeah, thanks very much. Come on, Labour! Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you Friday. I might not see you Friday if it doesn't go well today. Just saying, it might be a day to eat Haribo and play Mario Kart.